Howdy, pard. I'm Jedadiah Stone. They say y'all got my hat. No, I am Jedadiah Stone. I am the one that hauled those 6 boxes of gold coins down to Bentley's 6 months ago, just before the railroad got here and bought all the property. And man, this is a whole different town. And they told me you build a museum and put my hat on the wall. Well, I need my hat back. No, I am him. You can go tell the fella, go find the fella that tied up my mule. Yep. All right, you take my word for it. I'm glad to have my own hat back. I miss my hat. So, y'all were thinking I was going to come here to retire when I was 80 years old? I'm a young man. I didn't come to retire. I come to haul freight. Hauling freight ain't hard. The hard part's unloading the freight at the freight office, where everybody wants to kill you. You got to be surrounded by a dozen men with shotguns, and they're going to shoot. That's what a freight hauler fears the most when his freight is gold. I was hauling gold. I wasn't hauling produce like you would with a farm wagon. I had to use a farm wagon to haul that much gold that far. Why? Why was gold important 6 months ago and it ain't no big deal now? Well, I guess I can explain economics as best as a country boy can. It's got to do with time and distance and value, and who's got the guts to use the wrong wagon to haul that much gold and take it through the worst possible stretch of land, where the worst outlaws are, where you got to keep your eyes open all the time and you can't sleep day or night. And you have about 3 shooting scrapes. If they're brave and you're lucky, you'll live. If you are up against good men with guns and they don't kill you and you kill them, you just got lucky. And all it took was the guts to say, I'll take the job. And if I die, I die. But if I live, I'm going to come home and run a freight office. A freight office where you don't got to worry about unloading the freight. You don't need men with shotguns. Why, a freight office like that would make a man rich in 6 months. I'm a rich man. That freight office ain't worth nothing now. It's closed down. I did it for 6 months and the freight stopped coming and the whole place became a ghost town like I knew it would. And I still had my old mule and I just saved my money. I could have bought stuff. I didn't even buy a wagon. I just unloaded the freight and put it away for 6 months. And then the town went boom because nobody needed that much gold nowhere no more. It's hardly worth it to work in them mines anymore. That was the last time that much gold was worth that much money, and they had to get that far, that fast. And I was a good freight hauler, and I knew that was my last chance to make it big. And I've been trying to make it big since I started hauling freight when I was 12 years old. I'm barely in my 30s. I'm a young man. I got muscle. I can load and haul all day long. I'm a rich man, but I got something to do. I'm just going to build me a cabin of my own way out there where the land's still cheap. Got to walk a long way to get there. I can travel long distances on foot. I just want to have fun, make some money. I'm going to haul some freight. That's all I'm doing in this town. I'm amazed y'all thought I would be 80 years old before I got back here. I was always going to end up back here. This is where life is easy. This is where you do all the hard work, so you can come here and do the easy work. Well, what was my freight office like that I bought? It was nothing but boredom. Because when gold's important, and you're getting big quantities and you're taking it far, you need a lot of equipment and you need a lot of men with guns that are ready to die. And a freight office as big as mine, nobody would bring that much gold there unless they could get a railroad through and have about 100, 200, 300 of the best soldiers. You'd have had to have that much guns and people. You'd have had to have an army to deliver that much gold to that freight office. And mining equipment, of course, them big heavy shafts that you got to, them stuff that weigh 500 pounds, and you got to hire 3 guys just to lift the box. You don't got to guard it. Nobody wants to steal it. It's just the work. I never worked that hard in my life. It's 6 months of hard work. Well, how did I start out as a freight hauler? Well, because I could walk. I walked almost all the way from you know where West Virginia is? It wasn't West Virginia back then, it was just Virginia, but they broke up for the Civil War, but I was gone by then. We had a family farm, 4 generations in the family. We knew if we could get out here and buy some good cheap farmland long before the Civil War was over, before the rest of the people started moving this direction, we'd be ready. And we were ready. But all you had to do was walk and work and load stuff up and unload stuff up. And that farming business, the best time to set out then was when they discovered gold. If you had a good farm and there was a gold strike, well, my ma and pa, they got so much money, and I said, I don't want your money. I'm a young man. I got to find a job. So what job did I found a job. We're the feller that goes back where the fellers that are down in the creeks, picks and shovels, working all day to get two packs of gold that you would fit on a mule and take it to the freight office and come back with the proof that they got the money when they get to the bank. All you had to do was walk that far and not get killed and drop off 2 bags of gold with everybody wanting to kill you and get in the freight office. And then you walk out with a bill of lading in your pocket and your mule, and nobody cares about you no more. It's the distance and the danger and the unloading it. That's all the job is. You just do it if you can go far enough with everybody wanting to kill you and stay awake and you don't die. And the worst part is unloading. If you can unload it and get it on the ground and get your bill of lading and get away, well, nobody's going to follow. You got all the money in the world, but you worked yourself to death for it. And that freight office I had for 6 months, all we did was stack heavy equipment. People would come and get the heavy equipment. And one day the railroad got here and there was gold coming in from other places, and you know, you can't make big money in gold down there anymore. There's still gold, but the last people are the ones that ain't never going to get rich. They just want to get a little money ahead so they can start some little enterprise somewhere and maybe build it up into something when they're old. But that was my last chance to make my money while I was still young. And I got the money, and I'm the best freight hauler that's still living. I am the long trek distance king. Nobody can walk further through worse conditions. Rain, snow, hunger in the belly, and get the goods delivered, and get home and I'm the long distance trek king. I was able to haul that gold here in a hay wagon the way I did and make that much money for somebody. The guy that was waiting on that gold when the train come through is the guy who bought that freight office. That gold was there to buy that freight office. Oh, now you understand who's got the big business in this town and who don't. I'm just the guy that got the gold here on time. All them rich people was coming and all they needed was gold. And the gold was there. And I got my money, and they're the people that are running the town. I'm just a guy hauling freight. There's a lot of good jobs. There's all kinds of people needing hay and vegetables and a wagon to pull it. And that's all you got to do is stay awake. Stay awake, haul it to market, get it unloaded. And if you're good enough to go back a second load, that's when you get the money. The second load, when you're a freight hauler up here, you got to go back for a second load every day if you really want to get ahead. But not many men got that much endurance. There's men that are tough enough and can stay awake enough to do it once. But I'm the only one that can do it 3 times. As long as I got sunlight, I can do it 3 times a day. I'm just going to live in this town and have fun and make the money I want to, build my cabin. I'm 30 years old. I'm going to retire here, but I won't be retiring until I'm 50 more years old. I'll be working here for 50 more years wearing this old hat. And y'all think that's something? You call Jedadiah J. Stone a legend? Well, I couldn't believe that I'd ever see this hat again. And the first thing I wanted to do was look around for my hat. And I got here and I said, I'm Jedadiah J. Stone. Everybody's heard of Jedadiah J. Stone, but you can't be Jedadiah J. Stone if you're wearing that hat. And I said, well, where's my hat? It's in the museum. Do I owe you anything? Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for your time. I'm going to go out and look around and get a job. Find a little place to stay till I can build my cabin. And you'll be seeing a lot of Jedadiah J. Stone. I'm a permanent fixture now. I'll be here till I'm the last man standing, and I'll be telling the stories, and they won't be believing them. And they expected a farmer to be that guy. The farmers are gone. They sold out and retired. The freight office guys are gone. They're sold out and retired. Who's left? Who's the big people? The people that bought the property with the gold I brought. The people that own the saloons, the freight offices, the big barns where you can store the produce, the stores where you sell the produce, the businesses, the things that take big money to own. Those are the people that'll be running this town as long as there's a town here. And guys like me, well, we're just going to do our work until we're walking around telling stories, and people will think, how that son of a bitch do that kind of work that long and he's still that strong? How can a man haul freight that many years and still be smiling and wearing that old hat? That guy should have been dead when he was 30, and I should have been. I should have been. I was a fool to take that job to haul that freight wagon that far, but I just had to see if I could do it. And I thought, they're going to kill me. I believed when I went to that freight office, I let my mule go because I didn't want her to die, because I was sure that was my last day. And that all they had was one old man with a shotgun and that many dangerous guys. And if one of them saw him slip up, I was dead and he was dead and that gold was gone. And I wondered why he wasn't watching any closer. And I kept glancing over my shoulder and I couldn't stand it. And that 4th box was on the ground and that 5th box was ready. And I knew that if they were ever going to make their move, that was it. And I couldn't wait. I jumped up with that pistol and that gold coin, and I thought I was going to die. I thought they weren't going to take the gold. They were all going to pull their pistols, and I was going to kill 6 of them, and I was dead, and the shotgunner was dead, and the gold was gone, and that was it for Jedadiah J. Stone. And all that was left behind was an empty wagon and a mule. And when I got to my mule, and somebody told me I didn't have to get out of town so fast, I didn't believe them. I thought they were a liar. I walked her as gentle as I could. I got the most secluded place I could find. I bedded her down. I made sure she was all curried out, that she had plenty to eat. And I said I was sorry that I asked so much of her. And I sat down and I said, we're going to stay here till you're ready to go. We ain't going nowhere till you're ready to go home. And she looked at me like she was grateful. And I had water to drink and no food to eat. And I waited 3 days for my mule to be ready. And then all I had to do was get home, get that freight office, wait till it went bust, and just come back and see, and my hat's here. You're amazed at that? I don't know what to tell you. A difference of 3 days travel. If you can haul the right stuff, the right distance, at the right time, but you got to have the right combination. You got to have a wagon. You got to have a good mule. You got to have 5 boxes of gold on that wagon that everybody that sees it knows it's gold. And everybody along there is a dead shot. He can kill you from a distance. But they only take the shot if somebody just happens to be hauling enough to make it worthwhile. And the only stuff that was coming this way was stuff to buy mining equipment with. Stuff that y'all needed to give us mining equipment. And y'all needed building materials. You needed nails and hammers and picks and shovels. I mean, if I had that many picks and shovels, it would have taken 20 wagons to make it worth going that distance. Somebody might have taken a shot at a lone driver with a big load of picks and shovels because they got a little money. But nobody was going to take a shot at a lone driver with picks and shovels. But if there was a lone driver with gold, everybody would kill that guy. 3 times a bullet whizzed past my face. And once I got the guy, and the other 2 times he run off. I killed 1 man to get up here. But that guy had it coming, and I don't feel bad about it. I just hope his horse went somewhere. All the rest of the time, I was too alert for them to be brave enough. But you got to stay awake 3 days and 3 nights to do that. And I'll never do that again, but that's the only time I had to do it. Well, I'm glad we understand each other. Where would you recommend you got a job for me right here? Well, all right. My name's Jedadiah Stone. I got the mule. You show me the wagon and the merchandise, and I'll get it where it's going. I'm going to like it here. Yep, that's right. The name is Jedadiah Stone, and this is my hat.